Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our spooktacular edition of Out of the Blue. Hello, David.
Hello, Mum. How are you?
We're not very good at the scary stuff.
I hope you're feeling terrible today.
Yeah, I have a little headache. Well, we thought we'd make a bit of an effort for Halloween, and we have a very Halloween topic to talk to you about on our episode today.
Oh, I like it.
It's how to conduct a mystery shop for your school. That's not very Halloween.
No, but you could do it as how to conduct a mystery shop at your school.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. If you've not joined Out of the Blue before, this is our weekly video podcast where we talk about everything to do with school marketing and try and offer you as much advice as we possibly can. We always dress up like this. It's just the way we are, obviously. So this week, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about basically the benefits of conducting a mystery shop in your school. It's something that independent schools have been doing for a long time, and I think it's something that schools in the state sector can learn a lot from. So we're going to get into that conversation in a little while. Before we do, just to let you know, as ever, that you can find us on all the usual social media channels. So you'll find our LinkedIn channel, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And also, I run my monthly brand identity masterclass, which is a brilliant introduction to anybody that wants to get a grip on the marketing and communications within their school. It specifically looks at getting a handle on your brand and your brand character and how you're presenting your school to the outside world. It's an hour and a half. It's online, really easy to attend. The next one's on the 16th of November, Tuesday afternoon, 1:00. You can find more information about that on our website. So jump on there, find a bit more information, sign yourself up. You won't regret it. You won't regret it.
And it's not scary at all.
No, it isn't. No. And also, lastly, you can also on our website, you can find a whole series of episodes of this show, Out of the Blue, and loads of blog articles that talk about all sorts of different topics related to your school brand and your marketing and communication. So all in all, loads and loads of information there to try and help you out. So, David, the benefits of conducting a mystery shop on your school. And as I say, this is something that we've come across in the independent sector a lot, and that it's something they've done for a long time. And slowly but surely, it's creeping into the state sector. Academy trusts are starting to introduce these sorts of things into the school. And it's really interesting because I think I mentioned to you probably a couple of weeks ago, I attended a college open day for my daughter. And it wasn't great. It was.
I think you used a little stronger words than that, Mark.
Yeah, it was sort of the only organisation that they'd put together was, we'll have an open day on that day, and then they'd open the doors, and that was about it. There was very little by way of an introduction or a tour or learning about us and what we were after, or my daughter, or what our concerns were. We didn't really know who to talk to or how to find any more information. We got most of the useful information from other parents who'd found bits out from areas. So it wasn't brilliant. So I thought it'd be great to chat through how you can conduct a mystery shop, to highlight things like that, really just to learn what's this process like when a parent is first introduced to our school, when they walk through the door and they're trying to learn as much as they possibly can. What's that experience like, and could we improve it? How do we do it? So that's what we're going to chat about. And I've basically thought it would be good to talk through a number of different areas that you can consider to try and make this an easy thing for you to think about. So the first one really is whether it's relevant to you or not. We're not really saying that every school needs to do a mystery shop, or every trust needs to do a mystery shop on all of their schools. It's really a case of the mystery shop is a tool to be used as and when it becomes appropriate, really. So if if you've got a school and it's really struggling to get parents through the door, well, then the mystery shop is not the solution for you. We need to talk to you about how we're going to, lots of the other episodes that we've put together that help you encourage parents through the door and help you engage with parents. So the mystery shop really is, for schools that are actually getting parents through the door, but are perhaps still short on numbers.
Yeah, I think, if I may say, Mark, I think that you could actually, as part of that mystery shop, you could establish why people are not coming through the door. There may be a breakdown in communication earlier on in terms of, the website contact form not functioning properly, or, correspondence after an application has not been sent out, or the information that's sent out looks really bad. It's lots of text and nothing in there that inspires. So I think there is an opportunity when doing a mystery shop to establish why people are not coming in, but then obviously part of that process, when they're in, what's gone wrong if they're not signing up. So I think it covers everything, really. Fantastic way to establish what's wrong.
Yeah, it's so cost effective as well. There are external agencies that are very good at conducting mystery shops. But I do think there's an opportunity there for schools to do these themselves, with a few pointers, and we'll try and talk through a little bit as to how you can structure that. But I think if you are going to do it yourself, one thing that's really important is just consider who's actually going to conduct it. And you really want somebody that, not a teacher, not a member of staff, someone that you can trust. So, a family member, maybe somebody who is commercially aware or works a little bit in sales and marketing, that side of things. And just someone that doesn't have any preconceptions about the school, if possible, so that they're coming to it blind and they're really... If you can get somebody who does have children of the right age for your intake, then that can really help as well, because they're going to be in that sort of mindset. So finding that person can be quite important. But just chat amongst friends and family members, and hopefully you'll find someone willing to give it a go.
Yeah. And do you think you should forewarn staff in the school? Do you think people should be prepared for it, or just do it?
Yeah, I think that's a discussion you need to have, really, with your tight SLT. There is an argument, and I favour this, which is that they don't know, because there's a number of reasons. The first one is the staff can feel like they're being checked up on, when there's a reason and why you're checking up on me. I do my job really well, and it can cause some bad feeling. You're also basically then going to get, probably they're going to be on their best behavior for a period of time. So everybody who comes through the door is just going to get that little bit extra. And that's not what you want. You want to see your school as it normally would be operating. So if at all possible, I would suggest it's blind and that the staff don't know. And the reason I like that is you then have the opportunity to tell them that a mystery shop has been conducted, but show them how that information is going to be fed back, that it isn't to catch you out. It's not a witch hunt. It's not a trying to pick.
I like what you did there. A witch hunt.
It's it's not trying to pick on that one lady in the school office or not what it's about at all. You've done the mystery shop and you're able to feed back the conclusions really positively and constructively to show people how we can improve as a school and what we can do with it. So I'd say no. I'd say don't. Sometimes schools say it's too political. We are going to have to tell people because this could be quite destructive otherwise, because it's something else that we're...
Yeah, no, I get that. And something that you talk about, other than pumpkins and magical spells, is developing sales and marketing, a culture of sales and marketing within a school, or having at least key personnel to act in that way or understand that process. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, We talk about this quite a bit when in the masterclass, actually. So when we're talking about a school brand, we talk about how that extends into all of the operations of a school. So really understanding your brand character can really help guide your approach and your attitude towards the way that you interact with all stakeholders and certainly with parents.
Yeah.
And what you really want is firstly that, so that your staff are representing the school in the, not just politely and nicely, because you'd hope that happens, but actually in the way that the school wants it to be presented.
Yeah.
But also then that don't be afraid of explaining to staff that, as a school, we're really trying to encourage more parents through the door. We're trying to encourage more parents to choose us as the first choice. And the way that they're going to do that is that they understand our wonderful curriculum and our wonderful, all of the things that make you a fabulous school, and encourage staff to not be afraid of selling the school, being really proud of the school. Not, you don't make it up. It's got to be true to life. It's got to be actually what happens in the school. But then you've developed that culture that you don't have to excuse. We're all here to make sure that, the school is viable and we have enough children through the door.
Yeah.
It's a flip side to that as well, which is if a parent is looking at your school and is inquiring of your school, they're probably inquiring about your school and a number of others. You've got a responsibility to present them with all of the information, to give them as much of a picture of your school as is possible, so that they can make that discerning choice. So if you're a little uncomfortable with the idea of selling the school or being in competition with other school, I think that's perhaps a better way of talking to staff about it. It's our responsibility to make sure that a parent comes through the door and 45 minutes later when they leave, they really understand us. They know what we're about, and they're able to decide if this is the right place for their child.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a really comfortable way of doing it, I think.
Yeah. And that's not too salesy, is it, that approach? It's you're making sure that they understand, that every aspect of the school, or all aspects of the school, that a parent could be asking about, and that they have a warm, welcoming approach when they're talking to parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
We get asked quite a lot, sort of, well, what do you do? You say a mystery shop, and it's actually quite straightforward. It's not something to be worried or afraid of. There are professional mystery shoppers. There are people that do mystery shops within education, and you'll find them online. There's a number of them that do that. But I think if you're looking at conducting something simple and on your own to get some feedback, then just think about it logically. I think the best way to think about it is put yourself, or put the person who's going to conduct the mystery shop, into the position of a parent, and try and follow through the process that they would likely engage with when they were in the situation of looking for a school for their child. So the first thing they would do is they'd probably jump on Google and they'd take a look at the local schools. So do the same thing, do a Google search actually, and see what returns. Take a look at social media and see what other people are talking about, and just build that digital picture of the school up. What impressions are you getting of the school? What information is presented? Is that the information that you want to present as a school? And then from there, they would probably, okay, well, the next phase is I want to go and visit the school. They'd look to book a visit. So how easy is that? You mentioned that before, on the website, where are the calls to action?
Making an inquiry. Yeah. What steps to do? And I think, sorry, Matt, I think something that's always missed at that point as well is that once that Google search has been done, or they've arrived at the site, that's the point that you can capture the data, the information about the person who is interested, and so you shouldn't be afraid to make your certain key things on the site available once somebody has given you something in return. So get their name, get their email address at the very least. Telephone number would be great, in return for the prospectus, or booking an appointment. Just make it so you're getting some information back. And I've had it where I've done a mystery shop on a school, and I filled in the form. It was on the homepage. It was all there. I didn't hear back for 2 months.
Yeah.
And that's something that's, it's so simple to fix. They were mortified, this school, that nobody had, acknowledged the email. Never mind, even knew that it was there. It was an issue with the form that they had on their site. And actually, at that point, I decided to look elsewhere and go to other schools and see their open days. I missed the open day at that one because nobody had responded to me. So it's it just highlights any issues in the process, and I don't think it should be a scary thing. I think it should be something that you do as part, every year, even just to see where anything's falling down.
Yeah, it's a really positive thing to do. It should be viewed that way, I think. I mean, that's an extreme case that you don't hear for a few, but it's not uncommon for it to be a long period before you get a response. When we used to, if you remember, we used to run the masterclass face to face, and we used to mystery shop every school that attended.
Yeah.
There were a number of courses that we ran. And you would have at least 4 or 5 schools there, and we'd say, well, we mystery shopped 2 weeks ago, and we are yet to have received our information back from you or something from you. We also conducted some phone calls, and one of the thoughts we got was the school actually said, we don't like feeling like we're selling and that that we are salespeople. And our response was, yeah, but you didn't even ask me who I was, my name, my contact details. So I felt like you didn't care. You weren't interested in me as a parent. It's not actually salesy, although that's perhaps what you're going to use it for in order to send the information out. The parent needs to feel like you care and that you're interested in them, and that, that you're going to.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've talked a lot about what you send out. We've talked a number of times about school prospectuses and how they've become more like promotional brochures for schools. So considering, and so as part of that mystery shop, what arrived, what was that you filled in the form on the website, or perhaps you made a phone call if that's what the website encouraged you to do. What was that phone call like? How welcoming was it? Were you impressed with it? Did they make you feel like you mattered? What came through the post? So we're really looking at what's the first impression this school is creating for this parent.
Yes.
Are there any holes that could be filled? Because if you've got that dog-eared, stapled 42 sheets of A4 paper that tell you how much dinner money you're supposed to pay as the first contact that you get, then it's probably out of kilter and a little bit wrong.
With what people expect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Then that mystery shop is going to visit. They're going to come on site and they're going to attend either an open day or as an individual school tour, and again they're going to provide feedback on that. And there's loads of things to consider. Who's doing the tour? I don't know what you think about this, David. Whether do you think you should get students doing a tour, or should it be a headmaster? Or
so I've had a fabulous response to a school visit, an open day. I was looking at a school in the UK for my children, and everything was slick. It was super polished. It was iPads upon arrival, fill in your contact information. Would you like to sign up to our newsletter? Everything, goodie bag. The children got a cuddly toy when they arrived. It was really, really nice. As we often talk about, it was definitely a surprise and delight moment when we arrived at the school, super polished. But then we were shown around by one of the children, and it was perfectly well organized. There was a line of children as you came in. The next child came over, introduced themselves, and they were, I think, 10 years old, and lovely. Really knew the route they were going to take you on. And it was very nice. However, I felt like I couldn't ask some questions because it was a child of 10 years old showing me around the school, or 11 years old. I don't know. And, I really wanted to ask pertinent questions to another adult. And I think I was on the tour for so long that actually the child had to go home, and so another teacher or staff member came and finished the tour with us. And it felt much more relaxed then for me. I was able to ask the correct questions. I was able to, from a parent's point of view, this lady was a parent herself of a pupil at the school. So she was really able to then give me the information that I wanted. She made me feel much more relaxed and more comfortable, was able to talk about it from a very personal point of view. So I felt in two minds. It's very nice to have a pupil taking you around, and I think it shows the politeness, the respectfulness, the well-mannered side of the children at the school. But at the same time, I do want a bit of sales. I do want to be sold the school, and not just be shown around and be very polite and well-mannered. So, interesting.
And I don't know where I sit on that. I've got to admit, I've heard lots of people have very differing opinions on it. Certainly heard lots of parents that say it's lovely to, hear it from the horse's mouth. What's life like in the school? What do you think of the school? The child's going to tell you the truth. I hate the school dinners, but I love Mrs. Smith. Whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's hard to know. I think you've got to take that on a school by school basis and try and feel your way through that as to what's right for you. I think one of the mistakes that we've talked about this a number of times, David, that we've seen on school tours is, and it does come back to that selling the school and just following that through is just making sure that parents know what are they supposed to do now. Tour's finished. What's next? So we've talked a little bit, and I talk about it in one of my masterclasses about admissions in state schools. I think independent schools very often have a registrar and admission staff, and they have all of that looked after. In the state school, it's very often thought that the local authority does the admissions, and actually as a school, we just need to hold parents' hands a little bit further often. So as part of that mystery shop, it's good to get feedback on the lines of, did you understand what to do next, how to make the school your first choice? Did you know who, if you needed to ask a question, how should you ask a question? Should you email someone? Is there a phone number you could use? So just concluding that tour, has it been concluded? Did everybody get what they, what they wanted? And then the last part of that, we've chatted about a little bit when we mentioned sort of following up that initial lead, but it's just following up the open day. It's absolutely. Again, schools get really afraid of, but don't be afraid of putting in a really nice call to each parent that's attended or has been on a tour, and just say, did you enjoy yourself? Have you got any questions? Is there anything you're concerned about? As a parent, I'm going to love that. And as a school, you get to answer any objections that they've thought of, anything that they're unsure of. Obviously, you're going to have done that, hopefully, during the process of the tour. And hopefully, you've made it easy for the parents to have some time with the head teacher, because I think that's really important that you get an exposure to the head teacher. In all the cases of the schools that my daughter went to, I think I chose schools on the head teacher more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been the same. And I think you can get around the fact that the head teacher probably can't see every parent and every, potential child coming in, but they can have allotted times in that open day. If it's a 2-hour time slot, every 20 minutes, get the head teacher to have their stand up or a couple of times an hour to stand up and address the parents that are there, take them into certain, into a side room maybe where the head teacher addresses that group that's just come in. So you can do it that way. But the head teacher is really important because they're leading the school at the end of the day, and you want to see what they have to say, and what they are all about and how they come across. But I think what you touched on just then, Matt, is just that courtesy call afterwards to say thank you for attending our open day. Yes, find out how it went for them, but just thanking them, because so many times you don't get anything after the open day, and I think that's a really nice thing to receive. Just thank you for coming. We hope you enjoyed it, and and having a couple of questions to ask them at that point.
There's a way you can expand on that, and this is something that I'm really keen on, and it's actually something that is going to be part of a new masterclass next year that I'm putting together.
Yeah.
And it's all around the basically sales techniques that state schools can start to adopt if they've got an admissions issue, if they they really need to try and attract more pupils. And if you consider that school tour or the open day, it's about personalizing the experience of parents when they come in. And the way a salesperson would do that commercially in an organization, if you ever go and buy a car, what the salesman does is he doesn't stand in front of you and just start telling you randomly about all the cars on the forecourt. He's going to start asking you questions about yourself, your family, your lifestyle, what you're looking from your car, what budget you have. He's basically building a picture. And when he's answered all of those questions, he's going to show you a car that he now knows you're much more likely to buy because, you've got 3 dogs, so you're going to need the big estate or that sort of thing. And the same's true in the schools. When you have that access to parents, then just some questions about what they're looking for from a school will allow you to personalize that tour around the school a little bit. So you can think, if they explain to you that the child's crazy about art, get them in the art room and spend more time in the art room than you did with the parents who told you their child was crazy about cricket or dance or whatever that was, So some of those questions about their family, about the child, what the parents need. The parents, it might be as simple as the parents saying, we both work and we need the security of the breakfast club and the after school club. Well, then, try and explain what that's about on their tour, because you're now giving them what's relevant to them. You're selling the advantages and the benefits of the school to them personally. And it also means you don't have to do everything. You don't have to tell them everything, because a lot of it is irrelevant. The car salesman didn't show you the Mini round the corner. I'm talking original Mini now. It doesn't work with the new ones. The original Mini that he's got round the corner, because you've got 3 dogs and 4 children, and it's irrelevant. You don't need to know anything about that car because you're never going to buy it in a million years. Hopefully that makes sense. But I think that's sort of a key thing that a mystery shop can really help you develop. How personal did the whole experience feel? And did you feel like they convinced you that this was the right school? If not, very easy to fill some of those holes, I think.
So when you've conducted the mystery shop, really at the end of that, there should be a process of questioning what's happened, questioning the people that attended, and finding out how it could improve for next time. So if you're doing a mystery shop, does that happen at the end? what is that follow-up like? Is what we're saying there. Okay.
So that person that you've employed with us, Smalley, to conduct the mystery shop, we need feedback then. So talk to them about how you're going to get feedback from it. Make sure that it's constructive, and make sure once you've got that feedback that it's constructively conveyed to your staff and everybody that's involved in a way that helps you develop and helps you improve, because that's key. That's why you're doing it.
So actually arming the person doing the mystery shop with some expectations, or some things to maybe request, or would that be useful, do you think?
I think if you outlined the facts that we've covered there, really, that you're asking them to try and find out, when you did the desktop research, how did it make you feel? How easy was it to apply? What was the response like to that? When you arrived, what was the tour like? Did it feel like it was personalized? Know who to contact? Were your questions answered? All of those things. This is what we're looking for, please. This is the response that we're going to need.
So there could be even a checklist or a tick box exercise. Did this happen? Were you able to were you provided with a prospectus? Just check those things off, and then a little box to just give a little more detail as well about their experience, because it will provide so much then once you get that back.
Yeah, and it's, don't fall into the trap of that tick box being, did you get shown the mugger? Were you shown the new library?
Yes.
Because that's not what we're talking about. Those are incidental things. It's more about the experience and the feeling that the parent got about the school, because that's what's going to convince them. Your new mugger is fantastic, but it's not relevant for everybody. That makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, okay. Fantastic. So how do we summarize that, Mark, with a mystery shop? So can a school do it? Yes, every school should do one. Whether they pay somebody to do it or do it internally themselves, they should do that, because it highlights so many little areas where you can make improvements.
Yeah.
And then really what the steps to follow with that mystery shop. And I think we'll put a list up at the end of this on screen, so you can just see what those points are. Our step-by-step guide to a mystery shop.
And we're going to develop an hour-long masterclass. So it'll be an online 1-hour session that'll just take you through how to set up your mystery shop and how to conduct.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that would be fantastic. I think I'll come to that one.
Yeah, just don't dress like that.
Oh, I was hoping to.
Like my friend.
Really good episode, that one. I like that one, the mystery shop.
Great. I've got a bit of a headache now.
Yeah, I can't think why. Doing these shows has made me go a bit grey.
Thanks for listening. I was going to say listening then. Thanks for watching, everybody, and listening, I suppose.
Yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Remember, you can backtrack and you can watch lots and lots of other episodes where we talk about lots and lots of different topics. So they're all on the Blue Apple Education website.
Under knowledge base, yes.
Yeah, and oh well, I better go. Take the phone.
I think
it's a schoolboy error.
It could be, yes. It's a mystery shop.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time, David. We'll see you soon.
Thanks very much, Mark.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for watching Out of the Blue, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and leave a comment below, and please ring the bell for notifications. I hope I will see you again soon. Bye!